Today we're going over unit conversions. First, let's take a look at customary units, or English units of measurement of length. We all know that 12 inches equals 1 foot, and 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. But what would happen if you were asked how many inches are in 2 yards? First, you'd have to take the first 2 ratios and turn them into a problem to multiply them to get your conversion units. Let's take a look at that conversion rate. This ratio, 12 inches per foot, is a conversion rate, just like a unit rate since it has a denominator of 1. We'll need to multiply that times 3 feet per yard. Since we have feet in the numerator here and feet in the denominator here, those 2 units of measurement will cancel out. Now we can multiply straight across. 12 times 3 is 36. There are 36 inches per 1 yard. Now to find the amount of inches in 2 yards, we'll need to set up a proportion. If there are 36 inches in 1 yard, how many inches will there be in 2 yards? Remember, when we set up a proportion, we need to make sure that we're comparing inches to inches and yards to yards. Let's go ahead and cross-multiply these 2 numbers, since that's how we can solve a proportion. 2 times 36 is 72. And when I take 1 times x, I get 1x. In pre-algebra, we're just going to be using an x. So now I know that there are 72 inches per 2 yards. Another system of measurement is the metric system. If I were asked to write 4 meters in kilometers instead, I would need to take a look at this right here. These are my prefixes: kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centa, and milli. And this meter, liter, and gram represent my base units of measurement, or things that represent 1. If I'm trying to convert 4 meters into kilometers, I'll need to take a look at my arrows. Here's where my meters are, and since I'm looking at 4 meters, I want to look right here on my chart. Now I'm trying to turn it into kilometers, or kilometers. That means I'm moving to the left on my chart. Anytime I move to my left on my chart, I'm going to be dividing by a power of 10. So every time you see an arrow move, we divide by 10. 4 divided by 10 is 4/10. Divided by 10 more is 4/100. Divided by 10 more is 4/1000. If I were to write that in decimal form, I would need to first write a 0 and then a decimal. Remember, we're going to thousandths. That would be 0.004 kilometers. Last but not least, if you're trying to turn 1,000 centimeters into millimeters, we'll again need to take a look at this chart. Each time I move to the right on my chart up here, I'm actually multiplying by a power of 10. So for every arrow we see, we'll need to multiply by 10. Since I'm only going from centimeters to millimeters, I'll take 1,000 and multiply that by 10. That gives me 10,000 millimeters.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.